galaxy is vast, but like a time free to explore it. I'm searching for that little gem, scanning deep not to ignore it. Hope I find somewhere where the sky is blue, parking there just like the hills in view. To the night, fields of hope surround me on this planet in the night. Each system that I pass is a chance to find a sweet one. Sweep my scanner fast, and then the devil's in the detail. That's the fun, the fun. Looking wide and high from running right alive, hoping that this is the one. Life springs up, it reaches to the light. Fields of hope surround me on this planet. Life springs up, it reaches to the light. Fields of hope around me. Why are you all kneeling on the floor? Creeping round looking in my window, and you got no job working down the factory like me. You creep me out, oh don't you get so close to me. Don't security think you look odd? I do. Jumping around with rockets at this spot. If I had a choice, I'd just lock you up, throw out the key. But you creep around and get so close to me. God, kick your dance, hunt you down, see through walls. You know the one, all that you told about your eyes, about your dead man's eyes. Oh. Yeah, you still come in my hand, on your knees, while I rest, sticking round. You want me like some test. This ain't a test. Why are you still creeping on the floor? We got your name on our bad list, don't you know? If you come round here, we'll be red as hell for you. We're told up now, why don't I come close, yeah, close to you? God, kick his ass, hunt him down, see through walls, you know the one. All they can told about your eyes, about your dead man, God, kick his ass, hunt him down, see through walls, you know the one. All they can told about your eyes, about your dead man's eyes.
Touchdown, my heart is beating. See the dust on my feet, feel the weight on my bones, hear my breath in my head. I am free for the first time. Touchdown, my eyes are believing. See my friends on the ground, hear the steps, hear the sounds, watch them fly to the hills. We are free for the first time. Let's start this odyssey. Brave steps in front of me. My eyes so wide to see this future. Let's make this odyssey. Frontiers for us to see. Vistas so wide, this is the future. Embrace the future. On this odyssey. Touchdown, this place is bubbling. Watch them run, watch them fly, have a drink, start a fire, climb a ship, see the size. For the first time, touchdown, we are greeting. See the look in their eyes, on my highway supplies of a fight for their lives. Yeah, we are meeting. Let's start this odyssey. Brave steps in front of me. see. Brave steps in front of me. My eyes so wide to see this future. Let's make this odyssey. Frontiers for us to see. Fist is so wide, this is the future. Embrace the future.
Galaxy calls, a chant from the stars to come live in the core. We'll jump together, my friends. Every flash of light's another hand to carry the weight. Jump on board, enter those cars. Or will the wandering souls come and lend a hand for the distant world? Or take a blast or two, cause in those pristine rings there's a fortune for you. We'll work together, my friend, as the mother lode cracks. This might come to an end. But jump on board, enter those chords. Or will the wandering souls come and lend a hand for the distant world? Laughter's fire and jump drives count. A voice comes filled, there's a chatter about the target set and the words in your hands. Come and build a hope in the distant lands. Search those systems till there's nothing to find. Leave the trouble in the bubble way behind. This is your chance as the future unfolds. Come and lend a hand on the distant
Hauling steel most every night. I can't find those composites, it's driving me so wild. Hauling steel with all my might. Just tell my next of kin I lost my way while I was trailblazing. Now there's a station to my left, there's a racing track below me. Now without a turn to going round and round. Yeah, there's a burning in my eyes. Maybe I should sleep, but I just need one more run. Just one more run tonight. One more run tonight. Hauling steel, it feels so light. Give me your composites or you will surely die. Hauling steel right through the night. Just tell my next of kin I lost my way while I was trailblazing. All I wanna do is pick up a load, press SCO, take it home, and do it all again. That's all. Fill my home, fill it full. Yeah, take my shields, squeeze it in. I just wanna play, so I can build it all hauling steel most every night. I can't find those composites, it's driving me so wild. Hauling steel with all my might. Just tell my next of kin I lost my way while I was trailblazing. Now there's a station to my left, there's a racing track below me. Now with Allerton going round and round. Yeah, there's a burning in my eyes. Maybe I should sleep, but I just need one more run, just one more run tonight. One more run tonight. Boom, 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 doo-doo-doo-doo. Boom, ba-ba-da-da-ba-ba-da-da-ba-ba-da. Boom, boom,
and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
and the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous,
and the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from the Orange Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads.
A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 525 of Lave Radio, the show that talks about the universe of Elite Dangerous and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix of Fire, otherwise known as Colin Ford, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, and joining me in the Orange Sidewinder bar for this episode, we have our Head of Health and Safety, that'd be Commander Ed Levice, otherwise known as Ben.
I'm actually very, very scared at the moment.
Oh.
This is not healthy or safe.
Why, but I know why.
Alec knows why.
Are you just going to let that hang there? Are you?
Unless we're talking about where we're going today, yes.
Right. Okay. Fair enough then. We'll let that hang in suspense. Then we have, as I said, our SRV Banksy. That'd be Commander Alec Turner.
Evening, steel haulers.
Stalling steel, no. And we also have our staff liaison officer, Commander Psychit, otherwise known as Claire.
Hello.
Hello. So let's quickly go around the crew. Hopefully this is where Ben spills the beans. What have you been up to in the last week, Ben?
Last week I've not really done a lot apart from real life things, but after hearing Alec talking about Lantern Light, I was like, I've got to go see that place.
Oh, right.
And I'm like,
okay.
How the hell am I even going to get in? Yeah, so that's where I am this evening. Game-wise, all I've really been playing is Horizon Forbidden West, which I've been loving.
Excellent. And Psychic?
Hi. What have I been up to? Okay, we've done things. I've played video games. I had a really lazy weekend. It's been really nice. We played lots of video games. I played 2 different games of Baldur's Gate 3. I'm doing a playthrough with Chris, and I'm doing a playthrough with Kremen, which those are really, really fun. What else have I been playing? A lot of Elite, obviously, because Elite's really fucking dope at the moment. And what else have I been playing? I've played Split Fiction came out. And Split Fiction, you might have seen it. It sold like so many copies. So Split Fiction is a 2-player game from the makers of It Takes Two and A Way Out. And that is Split Fiction. It's about 2 writers, one of which writes fantasy and the other one writes science fiction. So it's about 2 of those, and you're jumping between like their ideas and their knowledge. So it's literally my 2 loves within a video game, sci-fi and fantasy. So I've played probably like the first couple of hours of that. It's with Chris as well. It is beyond a shadow of a doubt, going to win Game of the Year. I can't think of anything else that is going to come out that is going to win Game of the Year above this game. It is phenomenal, and I highly recommend that if you want to buy it, it's 40 quid. If you want to buy a copy, and the thing is, the best thing about Split Fiction is that if one of you buys a copy, you both don't have to buy a copy of the game. So there is like a friends download that you can get. So only one person has to buy a copy and then the other one can just join their game, which I think is absolutely splendid and such a neat little thing. But they've also had so many people playing this game. It's phenomenal. I highly recommend it. What other things have I been doing? Doing a lot of like transport and BGS to flip our station, my system into being taken over by the faction that my squadron supports. Yeah, just lots of video games and lots of chilling out. I played a game today called Nobody Wants to Die, which came out last year, which is like a dystopian sci-fi. Finished it in a day, got the bad ending. Probably gonna have dreams about it. It's like a narrative adventure, so there's multiple endings. Probably gonna have very, very strange dreams about it. But it was, on the whole, some of like the mechanics and stuff that they used in it were bloody excellent. So I do, again, another one that I highly recommend. That one's in the Steam sale at the moment for like 12 quid. Very worth the purchase for like 6 hours or so of fun gameplay. And fun, interesting gameplay, like really, really different.
Plus trauma by the sounds of it.
Sorry?
Plus trauma by the sounds of it?
I mean, I realized after I played, that I maybe didn't take enough breaks because my back's doing a little bit of a twingy thing. But I didn't take enough breaks because I was like a little bit too engaged, and that's not a bad thing. And that's probably why I'll go to bed thinking about it, which is better because there's some other like weird dramery type things which I can't be arsed with, and that's what I'm quite happy with. Like with having like video games and narrative and stories to be thinking about when I go to bed, which is quite nice. But yeah, that's my week. Video games, yeah, woohoo!
Excellent. Alec.
Hi. Yes. Sorry, I'm just chuckling at Ben's antics. This week, well, the highlight of my week looks like we already have in the show notes for later, but the highlight of my week was going to the Science Museum and meeting up with my pals, with Colin and Katie and LCU and Vantian, and drinking lots.
Oh, yes.
And then less so the hangover the next day, but hey ho, you have to pay the price.
Yes.
We'll talk about it more later.
Right.
Yeah. It was great. It was really good night. I've been doing a bit of DIY, which means I've done my back in slightly. Join the club, yay!
Yay!
Yeah, I'll be all right. Saturday night was Elite Racers night, so we were doing. If anyone's ever been to the Rego, I tend to call it the Rego Battlefield. It's some system about 1,200 light years from 1,200 from Sol, where there's a planet with loads of crashed Thargoid ships and Guardian ruins. So we did a 38-kilometer SRV race between them, which was a hoot. And actually, we got way more runs in than I thought. It was a good crowd of pretty experienced SRV drivers. There was about 10 of us. And I think we got 3 or 4 runs in between the two, which was great fun. Pitch black, but never mind. It was still great fun. What else? Obviously, loads of colonisation, and we will also talk about that later. Yeah, that'll do. It's all stuff that we're covering later.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Obviously, there's a thing with the Science Museum, which was very nice. It was also my birthday. I am now very much older, and I certainly feel it.
Happy birthday, Colin!
I certainly felt it after what one of the museum attendants said to me earlier when I was down there, which we'll go into later. It's so much hauling Oh, so much hauling. I have never hauled so much hauling than I've ever hauled before. And my my children decided, because I have an N7 leather jacket, they decided to get me an N7 t-shirt, N7 cap, and an N7 wallet. So,
might I ask what you are hauling, Colin?
steel mostly, or actually titanium as well. So there was a lot of heavy metal. There was more heavy metal. I could have had Ozzy Osbourne in the back, and I still wouldn't have had enough metal. So
I built a bar, so I'm hauling loads of booze, which is very satisfying.
I have to point out, do you want to know how much I have been hauling? I have been hauling so much, I didn't even have time for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Whoa.
That's how much.
That's a lot of hauling.
Yeah, no Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, no power play, and no exploration. It's back to my main commander just hauling a T9. Right, just to set the scene for later. Right, development news. What have the devs said this week? Well, the number one thing that has to be said is colonisation has been put on hold for reasons. The current state of play is you can work on systems you have already claimed and already started a primary station at, but as far as adding new systems to your colonisation, nope. So you can build up your systems that you've already claimed. Absolutely fine, you can do that, but no new stations just yet. The main reason behind this is they reckon that someone had an exploit where they were getting 3 or 4 systems within hours, and not just
one filled up like a Celis. I think they've managed to fill up in 10 minutes.
Yeah, which
fuck that guy.
Yeah. I really do wish that we had Chris Mark 5 on, because the stream of insults and what he'd like to do, that guy just kept on going.
Put the guy in the bin. Hang on, I've got this. I can paraphrase. Put the guy in the bin. Put him in the sea. Set the bin on fire in the sea, and then I think Chris Mark 4 chimed in with "then yeet that bin into a star."
There was sewage. Hang on, we were pumping.
There was sewage. There was sewage somewhere. Put sewage in the bin, and then yeet that bin into a star. We're fine with this.
Yeah, but the guy did post about it on Reddit, so everyone went, "Hang on a moment." The ironic thing was the timing, because it happened halfway through Lave Radio last week. And there was us going on, "This is fantastic, this is amazing." I thought, right, I'll just get one more run in after this done, and Ben can vouch for this, because I was there going, I've lost my station. I can't do any runs to my station.
That was a fault, though, wasn't it? There was like a bug or something that happened, and then like the following day during their work hours, that's when they paused it.
Yeah, they actually paused it halfway through. All the reports happened, they've stopped it. They couldn't do anything after sort of about 9 o'clock on last Tuesday. So it's been kind of paused since then.
There's been a few little bugs, actually. I think maybe the one of people losing their architect status was.
Yes, that
was Tuesday.
That was definitely Tuesday, but
yeah, because that's been fixed. Because that affected me. I had 3 days where I couldn't do any colonisation at all. I mean, nothing. I couldn't deliver stuff or anything, which was a bit of a pain. But I did other things. It was fine. Yes. And then also, there's been there was a major crash on Saturday night. I don't know. We can touch on that or not, but
I don't know what actually happened with that. I do know that I was hauling at the time, and then
you were mid-race, weren't you, Alec?
Yes, we were. Indeed, mid-race. SRVs falling out of the skies.
So yeah, it's been a little bit flaky because it was out a little on Sunday as well. So, but yes, it's
less robust than formerly advertised, but still
delightful.
But still delightful.
And to be fair, for a Frontier putting out something, the bar is low, and I would still call this a bust. Also, it's a beta. It's a beta. Like, some things will go wrong.
Yes,
I'm still like things. It's a beta. Remember, it's a beta, so all of these things aren't set in stone.
Yes. Again, something that we'll probably touch on later. Right. In addition to this, because we all panicked on Tuesday night, on Thursday afternoon they dropped the Trailblazers patch 1. It took a little while for it to come through, but it came through, and there was some new additional journal entries, which brings power play into the journals and a few other things. And there was bug fixes, which we did like. Was there any bug fixes there that everybody went, yes, that'll do?
There was something in the notes that I loved.
Same.
Yeah, I was loving this stuff about the journal.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sadly, that didn't make it very far. Hopefully soon.
What do you mean it didn't make it very far?
I didn't think the journal stuff didn't actually make it into the patch.
Is it not in the patch? Oh, I didn't realise.
No, it's like in the notes, but didn't actually get added to the patch, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
They're looking into it for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's all of the journal stuff or just the power.
Not everything. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Because I was under the impression. Thanks for correcting me, because I was under the impression that went in. However, there was one bug fix which did make me snigger a little bit. The last bug fix they've mentioned is fixed Thargoid Titan debris being misplaced / clumped together, because there was a point where you were flying through the Thargoid debris, the wreckage of the Thargoid Titan, and you began to notice, is it beginning to reform?
That would have been amazing. I heard about that on somewhere else, and I thought that was just
that might be why I heard people saying it, and I was like, no, they've literally taken the map away, so it's not it's not going to come back just because the Titans aren't reforming. That's crazy. And now I understand why it might be. I didn't get that far down my notes. It took me like 3 hours to read them. It was really bad. We got like so many segues and looking at different conversations and having different conversations with it, and I didn't get to the very bottom of the notes. and I realise now it was such a small amount of patch notes, but we didn't get all the way down to the bottom. And Frontier were like an hour longer with the downtime as well. We were too busy chatting that I didn't get them. Oh no, that's really bad. I didn't see that one. I will say fixed galaxy map filters resetting is a big highlight as well for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. That was an absolute nightmare. We had Homburger complaining about it endlessly, and you know how Turkarov, who's our favourite fuel rat, apart from Flossie, really going, yes, please, thank you. So, yeah, lots of nice stuff came in the patch. And then finally, Frontier were at the Science Museum on Thursday using Elite Dangerous as a guide to the solar system, where we had a couple of experts actually explaining to us how first of all, how accurate Elite Dangerous is to the solar system, and where it's also gone wrong. For instance, apparently we'll never be able to terraform Mars. Sorry, Elon.
Did they say why? Because
I'm sure he's not listening.
Thankfully.
Did they explain why they don't think we can terraform Mars?
Well, they say that we'd probably be able to build dome cities, but as far as terraforming Mars doesn't have enough mass to keep an atmosphere.
Couldn't we make the atmosphere? So we couldn't permanently terraform it. So even if we dumped in a shitload of atmosphere, Mars would eventually just let it all escape into the. That's
exactly what they say has happened, because they reckon that Mars had an atmosphere with water, but because it's a lot smaller than us, it doesn't have the same gravity to keep the atmosphere where it should be. So it's just kind of
have a certain lack of
bled off. Yeah, which is it makes sense to me when someone said that, but it's the closest we can get to somewhere else in the the solar system living, apart from, and this is one thing that I didn't realise, Ganymede. It's a moon outside Jupiter, which is bigger than Mercury, and certainly bigger than Pluto. So that's one moon that's bigger than what people used to call a planet. So
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
it was a really nice. It was a really nice demo. Actually, it was about 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. It felt like.
Yeah.
With Arthur doing his thing, and then they had some. I've forgotten the guy's name, but somebody else from Frontier off to the side piloting, and a nice big screen. And then they were basically asking their two experts, like, where do you want to go next? And then we sort of went to the moon and went to Saturn and Ganymede, and it was a nice way to show off the game in a sciencey way, and also have a really good science talk. It was great.
Yeah. And there was a couple of they set up a couple of stations so people could actually play the game, and I ended up sat down there explaining the game to somebody, and I'm not even supposed to be demoing it, but
yeah.
That was funny. So Alec, me and Katie walking around the science museum going, whoa.
Yeah, I really love it for that, because I don't get out to these museums enough as it is, and they're always super busy. And these kind of lates are great because they've got a bar, you can get a beer, you can just wander around. And I do apologise. I did drag you and Katie all the way up to the third floor when you'd already told me that the flight area was closed, and we walked all the way up the stairs to the third floor, and it was indeed closed.
Yeah, one of the highlights was that me and you and Katie, we went to the communications section, or the telecommunications section, when we saw Babbage's differential engine, and then we spotted this display that had all the microcomputers from the 80s and onwards, and I was there going, oh God, look, ZX80, ZX80, you want to program that, ZX Spectrum, and program that. And we came across the BBC Model B, and it had the original Elite key guide on the top of it.
You're in a museum, mate.
Yay! Which is quite ironic, because both me and Katie looked around the corner and we saw all these PCs which I'd also programmed. I went, oh God, I've programmed all those as well. To which a museum attendant to the left of me just said, if you can go around the corner and stand there, we can put you on as an exhibit as an old programmer.
At that point, did you tell him it was your birthday, Colin?
She looked 12. I swear she looked 12.
Aww.
10 out of 10 for the sass.
Please tell me you told her it was your birthday.
No.
God.
I'd say a fortune to tell you that.
I'm walking away there going, funny, what a cheat.
Oh, I've just experienced pure joy on Lave Radio. That's wild.
Well, yes, it was a good time, and because me and Vintian had signed up for the VIP tickets, and that Vintian's mum was there, and she is a charmer, we got a lot of free beer vouchers that cost a lot of and we weren't the only science fiction-y people there, because I did notice quite a few people walking around in Starfleet, Star Trek uniforms.
What I thought was funny was you mugs paid for your VIP pass, and then me and Katie, you stayed at the pub and had another beer, and sort of ambled down later on, got in about 2 minutes after you.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Did they get free beer for their VIP pass?
They did, except that backfired as well, because Vantian wasn't driving, because he wasn't drinking, because he was driving his mum. So I ended up getting his beer token anyway.
Yes, it worked out quite well. Although one of the Star Trek guys, he looked like Boris Johnson in a Star Trek uniform.
This is true. He did.
Fair enough.
Dear, that just made my day. And we caught up with Zach, and I think we met Chris as well. Although they were all busy setting up and tearing down.
Yeah,
but
it was nothing learned.
Oh no, we
social
didn't even
standpoint.
ask.
Yeah, no, none of that.
Although Art just said, "Yeah, we can't talk about it." Reasons. I meant we're not asking. Don't worry about it. So, yeah.
You were
So
probably the
that
best
was.
people. I imagine if somebody, I can imagine like other people who would have gone to that and would have like asked loads of questions and would have felt entitled to those answers. So I'm really glad that it was you guys that went.
I think
Yeah,
they
there was-
deliberately kept it quite low key, actually, because it's not really about the game. It's about the Science Museum, you know, and they just
100%,
happen to be there, and they don't want to be swamped by fans of the game. That's not what the evening was about.
No, it wasn't. But there was that moment where Arth caught our eye, and it just went, and you could see the fear going. Oh God, I hope they're not going to ask questions, because you don't want us nerds going. No, I think you'll find it's easier to get to that station if you do it this way. Yeah. Anyway, good time was had by all. All right, community news. I will hand over to Alec for the community news.
And now, to the community coroner.
It's a dead game, innit, mate?
It's just ludicrous, that dead game quote.
It really
now,
is,
in the
isn't it?
intro. There's just so much going on. Yeah. Anyway, let's go. I can talk about this one, although I didn't put it in, but Nicey has created a neat little tool on her website. It's basically a colonization notepad. So, you know, that thing where you sort of look at the quantities that you need, and then you go off and you get like a 600 titanium or whatever, and then you've got a bit of space left in your hold, and then you have to faff around in the galaxy map to find out what else you need, or you're doing it with friends and somebody says, what can I get for you? And there's, I don't know. So as I understand it, there seems to be a little bug in it when I was playing with it today, but you basically put in your system and you put in what you want to build, and it builds a nice list of all the things you need, and then you can kind of tick stuff off and just save that page and use it as a notepad to remind yourself what you still need to get, which is a fabulous little utility. Yeah. Next, I have skimmed this, but I might hand over to somebody else for this one. This is Distant Worlds 3. They've made another big sort of forum announcement with a bit more of an update of early plans. And yeah, does anyone else want to speak to that?
I can pick it up if you want.
Go for it.
Yeah, so basically the DW3 organizers have made a post with the upcoming event, with the original the information about the event that's coming up. Now, they're aiming for a January 2026 launch, which is going to coincide with the DW1 10th anniversary. But they're also going to be doing some events leading up to that. So, for example, on the 30th of this very month, they're going to do a Trailblazer precursor, where they're aiming to build a satellite colony just beyond the bubble, which they're going to be using as a launch point for DW3. And also the sign-up process for DW3 is going to be coming in May.
Cool. Yeah. So lots of it was a good read, actually. I did skim it, and there does sound there's lots of stuff coming, and it's interesting. We'll come on to this later, but you know, having done things like organising buckyball and stuff for years and years, I'm just really blown away by the level of sort of enthusiasm that you can see in that thread, and the effort that's gone into it, and the planning, and you know, they've still definitely got the energy for doing something like this. It's looking really good. Right, next up, let me just check the Twitch stream. I assume you're still there, Ben. Let's talk about where Ben is. So this has been taking the galaxy by storm this week. What I've got in the show notes is a video from the guy who created this station. So this is a guy called Commander Lave Lane, who goes to great lengths to point out that it's Lave and not Lave. Lave Lane.
It's only David Braben who says Lave.
Yeah. So Lave Lane used colonisation to build himself to plonk himself down I believe this is an Orbis. It's one of the big ones. So a lot of effort's gone into this. Next to a neutron star. And I believe during the construction phase, it was nice and stable. Which is what he wanted, I believe. He didn't want this mental thing that we're witnessing at the moment.
I genuinely hope this gets kept in. By the way, I really
Yeah,
do.
well, there's mixed impressions on this, but anyway. So when this station finally got deployed and went fully active and started rotating, because it's kind of trying to align itself constantly with an extremely rapidly rotating neutron star, it's just spinning round like a giant blender. Basically,
I can't watch it for too long because it genuinely does make me feel ill.
It's got a real throw warning. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
It's a Commander blender.
Everyone in that station is soup.
Yeah, everyone's soup, of course. Well, I was reminded of the scene in Gremlins when one of them goes into a blender. It's God knows. So there's some funny things about it that it's worth commenting on. So I think Ghost Giraffe did a live stream from there, and everyone's going there at the moment.
I don't blame them, frankly. It's
So,
hilarious.
as far as I know, it's impossible to get in by conventional means. I did spend about an hour trying to do it, basically because I'd been challenged to do it and really wanted to live up to it, but I just couldn't. But if you die, you basically then respawn inside the station. I don't know if you've tried this, Ben, but if you're inside the station, then everything is then stable. Because
yes, inside the station it's fine.
But if you launch, and it's a good idea to get your ship nicely in the center, so away from all the sides and about central along the length. If you then turn off flight assist, the station proceeds to start spinning around you.
Oh my god,
awesome.
Yeah. The way I managed to get out, because I did also try and boost out, and boosting out is equally difficult, because although the station is relative to you while you're inside, the minute the nose of your ship passes the mail slot, it's suddenly back like this, and it just crunches you on the way out. I have seen people manage to boost out, but I didn't manage to do it myself. What I did was I accidentally hit an NPC on the way out, killed them, and then when the station killed me, I got sent to a detention center.
Oh, my taxi driver did manage to get out.
Did he? Impressive.
Although we then somehow, basically, I had to come out of the game and go back to the menu and then come back out of the menu before him to decide he's going to try and do anything more.
So you're outside in a taxi and your ship's inside?
I'm in a taxi and my ship is inside at the moment.
Bad luck.
I'm not sure what we're actually going to do because I'm just watching him trying.
Funny.
I think I can't watch him anymore. That is really beginning to hurt my eyes.
Yeah.
Let's carry on. Flashing lights, hazard warning. But do go and give it a look. It is funny.
If you are of a mental disposition wherein you're not photosensitive and you don't get motion sickness very easily, go and check it out because it's super cool. But if not, just watch it in snippets.
yeah. Glance at it briefly. It's
I would not want to do it in VR.
Oh god,
Oh god.
Sig bucket at the ready.
Yeah.
The system is Lalande 25224. Right, next up. Oh, just another of these nice. Everyone seems to be doing this at the moment. People that are discovering that Elite Dangerous is a fucking good game. So Just Dave GG has made a video called Elite Dangerous is the space sim for 2025, and it's a good overview of why Elite is so fabulous and all the new stuff that's a sort of overview of last year and a forecast of this year. But another nice, encouraging video. It's great to see people raving about this fantastic game. The next video I threw in, just because it's a little bit different, actually. It's called Elite Dangerous Mission Defend the Asteroid Base by Crimson Came. I don't know if this asteroid base was the result of colonization or not, but it's rather beautiful because it's got some very nice music, and it's basically a bunch of commanders who clearly held some kind of PvP tournament just outside an asteroid base. The surrounding asteroids are really close. And you know that beautiful effect you can get with the lighting where you can see all the light beams cutting through the haze. And So it's just a spectacular location, and there's about 8 ships, 8 maybe 10, and they've all got different coloured engine trails, and they're just dogfighting. It's about 5 minutes long, so yeah, it's gorgeous. Ships dogfighting in an amazing location to a nice bit of music. Yeah, that one caught my eye. Right. On the colonisation front, we had a couple of good tables last week. In particular, I think it was Jasjav's table is proving very popular, showing what points you need to get what. This is another one over on Reddit. There seems to be a lot of this stuff seems to be popping up on Reddit, and I don't always keep my eye on Reddit, so I'm sort of grateful to people that have shouted this out. This is by Commander Charybdis. And it's just another one of those nice little sort of flowchart diagrams showing you what star parts give you what points that enable you to get what tier 2 stuff and what tier 3 stuff. It's just a really clear visual representation.
Can I just ask a question here? Because it's not exactly clear to me. I mean, I've got one station created which is giving me 1 point. When I build something else and it's completed, is that point spent, or is it just constantly just added up?
I think I've got it now. Sorry, why don't you go? Because you've probably got it as well.
You spend points. So you accumulate points by making things. You make things and they give you more points, but you have to spend points to make it.
Right. Okay. So if I wanted something which cost 1 3-tier point, I have to build stuff that would give me that one.
Yeah.
But then once I built that thing, then I started building it, I'd lose that point.
Yeah.
So if there was a tier 2 thing that needed 1 tier 1 point before you could build it, but it gave you a tier 3 point, you would consume your tier 1 point, tier 2 point in building it, but you would also get a tier 3 point towards your next build.
Gotcha.
One of the things that's really good in Dasjav's sheet that we showed last week is you can sort of work backwards. So the really big things, you can basically work out what's the most efficient way to get to the really big thing, if that's your end goal. So there's a couple of planetary settlements that award 2 tier 2 points. So they're pretty good to build, and then that gets you a tier 2 that you can build. The mid-range that gets you the tier 3 that lets you build the Orbis.
Yeah. Yes, the amount of stuff hauling you'd be doing for that. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a bit scary. Initially you look at it in a fairly linear fashion. When you realise there's a whole tree, a talent tree kind of thing, it's not just the points you need for the final thing. It's the points for the 3 things you need to build before that to get the points to. It really adds up.
I really like it. I really like it. I mean, it's probably again, it's beta, so things will probably be subject to change. But I do really, I like the amount of effort it takes. It's cool.
What I like actually is that you can play it very casually if you want. So if you decide if you're just interested in having a planetary base where you can sit on a mountaintop and look at the sunrise. And maybe you want a space bar, that's pretty doable and straightforward. But if you want a much more elaborate system with maybe some of the big things, then you have to plan. So you can do it simple, but you can do it complicated as well if you want to really get into it.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to hand over to whoever put the next one in for this one. It's PvP event for Community Corner from Kid04ever.
Yes, we had Kid04ever got in touch with us via the info@Lave Radio email address. I'd like to mention that on the Saturday the 22nd of March at 8 o'clock UTC at Santu, Planet 3, there is a PvP event happening. 3v3 wing fights in asteroid rings. It's a double elimination 1-day event, estimated runtime about 2 to 3 hours. The rules are FDL only, maximum of 6 rails per team, max 6 gimbaled multis per team, no synth, no reboot, no excessive straight lining, silent running restricted to proc, whatever that is. No Heelys, Mines, Seekers, Drag, and Force Shell. And the event's going to be streamed by Mike Metallic. We'll give him a link there. So participants will be welcome as well as viewers. Yeah, the event's hosted by the Dojo, a PvP community server, and we've got links to the Discord if you would want to take part, or if you've got a PvP team that would like to shoot down other PvP teams.
Cool. Be quite fun to spectate that. Actually, I've never really been into my PvP. I know Santu. Santu's a very popular place. It's got loads of tunnels, so we've done racing there, but it makes for a good venue for this sort of thing. Right, next up, we have a new blog entry from Homburger, The Great Colonial Scramble, which is about the ongoing colonisation rush, I guess. I confess I haven't read this one yet. I've just been so busy. It's on my to-do list. I have the tab permanently open in my browser. I just never seem to quite get the time to get to it, but I will definitely read it this coming week. But it will be brilliant because all of Homburger's blogs are excellent. He's a really good writer and covers his subjects really nicely. Right. I've been promising for a couple of weeks I would take a look at what was going on over at Elite Dangerous. So there's a bunch of cool new things actually. I will preface this by saying that God, I'm so busy at the moment that in many ways the last thing I need is more things to do. But I don't want to knock it. It's brilliant that they're providing lots more things to do. So if power play or colonization isn't your bag, then head over to Elite Dangerous because there's loads going on. So the first thing, which I have mentioned in the past, is they have these cards now, like these trading cards. Turns out there's now over 600 of them, and they're really beautiful. A lot of them are works of art. Some of them are screenshots, some of them are hand drawings. But if you imagine your classic sort of bubblegum cards, with a nice picture and a name and a little bit of sort of text underneath it. So they've got 600 odd of these. And so a lot of the stuff at the site is that's your kind of reward. So the missions that we spoke about in the past, you earn what they call booster packs, which are a little packet of that contain 5 of these cards, and you open the pack and it pops open and you get 5 random cards. And they've got all sorts of stuff to do trading with other players. So obviously you end up with duplicates, and then you can sort of do the old got, need thing with somebody else, and you can do swaps and swap your cards for other people's cards. You can do things like turn a bunch of cards into one new card by sort of recycling them. There's loads of features in it, and it is really good fun. And so around that, as a kind of reward mechanism, a fun reward mechanism, they also now have these things called galactic missions. So they have weekly missions, which aren't mandatory, much like the Power Play weeklies, but basically you get 5 tasks each week. They're not that difficult. They're a bit like the Power Play things. They're all sorts of different things, scan some ships, get some bounties, trade some stuff. And if you complete your 5 weekly tasks, you get a booster pack, and then you can get more trading cards. And then they also have a big story-driven, like one of the things they were trying to do was do their own CGs, basically. So they have a big story-driven ongoing CG that has multiple steps to it, like multiple stages to it, and multiple ways to contribute to each stage. So it's like a big multiplayer mission, a sort of ongoing multiplayer mission, and you do things, and that gets achievements and gets the mission to tick on to the next stage. So we'll have links to both of those, but it's all under the Elite Dangerous FR website. And then the last thing is they just recently also introduced a colonization tool where you can basically contribute to community colonization efforts, and again earn badges and boosters as kind of rewards for contributing. So if you kind of want to get involved in community colonization, and don't know which group to pick, then the Elite Dangerous group is quite a good one, because you get fun little rewards, and they've got a nice tracker they've got a map as well, so there's like a nice 3D interactive galactic map of their colonization efforts. Excuse me. Right, last of all, buckyball racing. So much earlier in the year, I declared that I would do this year's Buckyball Racing Club Championship. I have found myself very short on time for various reasons, and the fact that I hadn't done anything regarding the Buckyball Championship was beginning to stress me more and more and more. Anyway, what we have done is, by mutual agreement with a few of us, we've decided that this year we won't do the predefined championship timetable with 8 races. There's a lot going on. 8 races, 1 a month, and formally getting people, race hosts, to agree. You're doing March, you're doing April, you're doing May. It's great fun, but it does put a little bit of pressure on people. So we've decided to relax things. So instead of a championship, a formal championship with a calendar of 8 events, we are running a much more improvised racing season. We're still going to do races, usual week-long buckyball races, but it's the tagline is a season of improvised racing. And following the kind of improv guideline, the name I've come up for it is called Yes and 3311. So Buckyball Racing Club presents Yes and 3311. Basically, we will be doing races, and we will attempt to announce them 1 or 2 weeks in advance to give people, a bit of prep time. The first one, I do actually have a race ready to go, because this is when I still thought we were doing a championship, and I said I'd do the first one to take pressure off everyone else a little bit. So I do basically have it ready to go. It's going to be called Time and Motion Study, and I will be announcing details of that. I'll probably run it at the end of this month. The only thing now is that I kind of want to move it. I have all my waypoints carefully planned out for it, but having done colonisation, I'd quite like to shift it so it starts in the system I've colonised.
Do it.
Yeah, so I might delay it a week and find a new set of waypoints and make it start from my colonisation system, because it's sort of appropriate.
Is this going to be, just out of curiosity, is this still going to be there's still going to be like an overarching thing for the season, or is it just like, fuck it, any regulation, any not regulation? I didn't check the thread. I'm really sorry. I didn't check the Discord.
Yeah, no, I haven't even put those details in the thread. There probably won't be the concept of championship points, because we don't really know how many races we'll have. So each race will be its own thing. The regulation ship is also a bit of a pain in the arse, and was a thorn in the side of getting this championship going, because we wanted to use the Cobra Mark 5, and you can't get it in game yet, and probably won't be able to for a little while. So I think informally, the regulation ship, we will stick with last year's Cobra Mark 3 until the Cobra Mark 5 comes out. I do have a build for the Mark 5 as and when it comes out. But it's all informal. If a racer wants to do a race and the Cobra Mark 3 doesn't suit it, I'm perfectly happy for somebody to go, can we make this ship be the regulation ship for this one? It's all a bit more cash.
Chilled out, cash. Unlike the rest of Elite, which is fucking mental at the moment.
Yeah, things
pretty much.
We don't need a calendar of races 1 per month on top of everything else. It's too much.
So, if you have a community event that's taking place soon, and you'd like us to talk about it across the airwaves, tweet the crew at Lave Radio or on Blue Sky, and email us at info@laveradio.com. So, the in-game events. Well, there's only been one event happening this week, and that was on the 6th of March, 3311. Yeah, my birthday. 1,340 years old I'll be. And still using punch cards, apparently. And it wasn't me using punch cards, it was Alex. So, nah. Anyway, the Brewer Corporation Trailsway fleet has been upgraded. This is the results of the CG that everybody stopped doing halfway through because Trailblazers dropped. So instead of getting 8 trailblazing mega ships, we've got 5. But I still made 0.4 of a billion doing it. So, yeah, that's me up to 4 billion now. slowly climbing towards the fleet carrier limit.
I didn't expect that many.
Pardon?
No, five's quite good, isn't it?
Yeah, I was expecting 3. Like when we looked at it like last week, I think it was the Inara was saying it was predicting that we'd get 4. So the fact that we've got 5 and Trailblazers dropped as well is I'm incredibly surprised by that. I was expecting 3. I wonder if a cheeky goalpost was shifted or something.
I have some questions that I can't wait to see. One is obviously what these things are actually going to stock.
It better be insulated membrane.
Yeah, that's what I assume. And also, will they have I forget what it's called, but like a flight itinerary? Will they jump around a bit? Because
that's interesting.
Because obviously we're all colonizing. We've got this massive sphere of the bubble, and we're all over the place. So some people might get really lucky and end up with one of these Trailblazer fleet ships parked right next to the system they're colonizing. Well, lucky them. But for other people, it might be a long, long way away. And a fair way to deal with that seems to have them jump like other mega ships do every week.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out by scanning them when they arrive.
Yeah.
Yes. It's this Thursday, isn't it?
I suppose. Hey, it's supposed to be, but who fucking knows?
Who knows? Okay, the Power Play rankings. In 12, with 3 more systems, that's Torval. She's staying at the very bottom. Only gaining 1 system this week has been Winters in place of at number 11. At number 10, we have Delaney, again, only up by 1 system. At number 9, we have Kane, who has stayed exactly where she is at 339. Up at 8, Petraeus has gained 3 systems, all of which seem to have been fortified. Above Petraeus, at number 7, we have Antal, who has gained a system at 704. Archer remains at number 6, but has gained 3 systems. He's up to 743. Lee Yong-ru, after his massive amount of systems last week, has actually lost a system, but still has 816. Grom has gained a system up to 1022. Rissa has managed to gain 2 systems, so she's up to 1335. But shock of the week, Aisling Duval has lost 4 systems. Ooh. So she's now down to 1410. And finally, Mahan pulls ahead even further with an extra system at 1436. So that is your Power Play rankings this week.
I have a question about this. I don't know if you know the answer, Colin.
Go on. I'll try and answer it.
Well, with colonization, presumably some of the gains could just be brand new systems, right?
They could, but I doubt it. I doubt it very much, because I think the amount of the amount of activity that's happened this week, it's a lot further down than it was the week before.
Okay.
I mean, the fact that Aisling has lost 4 systems says volumes.
Yeah. You see, I would have thought rather than all the powers fighting each other for control of existing systems, it'd be much easier just to colonize, grab, colonize, grab, colonize, grab. You could grab like a dozen systems a week, couldn't you, doing that?
I feel that the reason that it doesn't, we might see that if people are still doing power play, we might see that in sort of like a few weeks' time, because it takes a little longer than that for that bar to fill and a power play system to become under contention, or whatever the terminology is. So that might happen a little bit later.
Yeah, it's got to be exploited for it to really count in these figures. So you know, that's It's
bar
got
has
to be a
creep up a
quiet
fair amount.
first. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the first systems have gone like properly active. Maybe like one or two went live on that Thursday, the Thursday tick before, but it's mostly just like we've only like last week that most of the systems have gone live as far as like inhabited systems and stuff.
I mean, what I will say is that the figures here, at least it shows that people are still playing Power Play. I mean, Aisling herself might have lost 4 systems, but she's still increased the number of strongholds and fortifieds. So, you know, people are still working the system, if you like. But that's the first time I've ever seen systems actually being lost, with Lee, Yong-Ru, and Aisling suffering this week. So, yeah, interesting. Well, unfortunately, there's no store alert this week, so we'll take a ad break, and then we'll come back with the main discussion for this week.
Hey there, Commander. Are you tired of transporting bulky containers of water everywhere? Wish there was a lighter, more convenient solution? Introducing dehydrated water. With our groundbreaking technology, we've removed all the excess moisture, leaving you with a compact, easy-to-transport solution. Our patented, groundbreaking process extracts 100% of the H2O molecules, leaving you with pure, unadulterated nothing. Get yours today! Available in convenient single servings, family-size packets, and for a limited time only, the Jumbo Empty Jug Edition. Buy it now from your nearest starport. And now, introducing our sparkling variety, with our new patented glitter sachets. Dehydrated water, the future of hydration. Warning, must add water to activate. Do not attempt to consume dry. Waiting for things to load. Waiting for things to load. Sitting in your chair, waiting for things to load. Waiting for the manifest to update. Playing old space games. Waiting for things to load. You just want to get out there and explore space. See the galaxy. Blaze your own trail. But you're in your chair, waiting for things to load. Wait no longer, Commander! Automated cargo drones will load cargo into your ship in no time. Automated cargo drones, available now in most starports.
Dreams. Humanity's dreams. The hope to live among the stars. From early times, we've gazed up to the heavens and wondered if one day we could travel there. Maybe even live there. The Brewer Corporation has made this dream a reality. Constructing intricate cathedrals of metal, circling numerous planets across thousands of systems, now human bubble. Why stay rooted in a gravity well when you can be free in orbit, free to dream, free to live, and one day to become a commander and be free to blaze your own trail? Brewer Corporation, the first step into the unknown. Come join us. Be free.
And welcome back. Well, before we hit our main main discussion, if you like. I'd just like to go around the crew who have been trailblazing, just to see how their builds are coming along. So obviously, Alec has been. People have been taking note of your builds because you're racing around them.
Yeah, so I have. So I did my primary station, which was an outpost. Then I did. I got 2 planetary settlements, which I'm going to leave as construction yards. And in fact, one of them, which is called Camp Bucky, I have just finished the ED Copilot time trial for that today. I've got a couple of people out for testing it for me, but I'll probably launch that tomorrow. So if you're using ED Copilot, there's now going to be an official time trial circuit for one of those container yards. I then built another one slightly accidentally on top of a mountain, and I've paid my 5,000 arcs and renamed that one what's it called? The Devil's Tower from Close Encounters. Now I'm going to start paying attention to points and think a little bit tactically about what I want to do next, because obviously I have a limited number of planets and spots and space to build things, and there are things I'd quite like to do. So yeah, but I built a few. And I also randomly built a space bar. One of those ones that's got lots of advertising hoardings and some tunnels you can fly through.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I built one of those as well.
Excellent. What about you, Claire?
Okay, so I have I have 2 stations because the one I wanted had lots of like rings and stuff in, and that's the one that we're colloquially naming System 69. That has its first asteroid station in at the moment. I've put plans down or put thingy down for an outpost, but I'm not fully building that yet. That's in that system. That one I'm looking at doing like mining, and I'd like that to be sort of like a refinery high tech system because it's going to produce some cool shit. And then I've got another system that's slightly closer to the bubble, which was sort of like my jumping off point. Now that one I've had a bit of fun with. So there is a planet which has got 5, the planets that have got your massive craters on that you can see from space, like the big ones with all the lines going up to them. This planet has got 5 of those and 5 spots for like planetary bases. So the first one, I had to, because I'm doing tourism spots, I had to put a satellite in there first so they could get all of the advertisement could go out about the places, and they could get their TV to their cabins. But I've placed one on the edge of like a double crater that's next to each other. I will say that ground base it was me. I streamed it. It was me and Captain MD were the 2 people who were filling this. We did it in 2 hours from a base to like a pre-grown base to a done base, and with people walking around it, people scanning us. Took 2 hours, and it was great.
Nice.
So that's made.
How did the placing of that work on because you were going to put it right on the edge of the crater?
That one's right on the edge of the crater, and it's kind of like built some ground up. And then I've made another one. And the other one is dug into the side of the crater. So half of the ground is sort of built up to make it like really flat. And then half of it's just like they've cut a chunk out of the side of this crater.
Nice.
And it's brilliant. That one we started filling up. That one's got the racetrack around it, which has the jump in it. There's like 3 different types of racetrack. I say racetrack.
Oh, I'm only aware of 2.
Sites. Yeah, there's one with a jump in it, which I think is a small one, maybe. Okay. But it's got a jump in it, and it's very cool. But that one is that one's wild. And as soon as I landed and I got out in my SRV, my Mandalay took off, and I was like, shit, there is nowhere that my Mandalay can land. So I had to drive all the way down the crater to get to somewhere, and I was in a Scorpion anyway, so it was fine. But I had to drive all the way down a crater to get my my Mandalay, and it was really fun. So that's what I have so far is a commercial hub, a satellite, and 1 finished tourism base on the top of a crater, 1 halfway down a crater, and then an asteroid base in another system with an outpost that's planned. And then I'm going to do refineries on there's a couple of high metal planets, and I want an ice asteroid base in there as well.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's my plans.
Well, I have actually managed to on Sunday night. I managed to complete my my station, and then got shocked to find that they'd called it DEPRES station. So I have Deprez station, or Deprez city rather.
It should have been Deprez Ring.
So yes, it's a happy place.
I rolled it, and it gave me Shepherd Falls. I'm not even joking, and I died.
I'm building a farm, and I'm also building a mining facility. The mining facility is going to be called, just generated at random. There's Benedetti in it.
Hey, yeah, they're all in there.
So yeah, have they put their old staff members in there? Have they?
Yeah, they've always been in there.
So yes, I have a Benedetti base which is being built there. Half tempted to drop Stephen a tweet to say, "Look what you bastards have done." And this is an interesting question. One person on their stream claimed that they'd spent 60,000 arcs already on naming systems, on naming stations rather.
Wow. I mean, I can see myself building up to that because I'm definitely naming everything. So I've named 1, 2, 3. I've named 4 so far. So that's 20.
That's basically a tenner then. You spent a tenner on just naming your systems.
Yeah. That's the best money I've spent in the game.
So, do you think that's good? We're going to see.
It was Face Guy. It was Face Guy who said that.
Yeah.
He spent that much money. Yeah.
It's now 80k now. Oh, well done, Face Guy. Yeah. So, yeah. Wow. Overall, I mean, first of all, is anybody sick of the hauling yet?
Nope.
No. It's funny that because just as I had 2 runs left to go on my primary station. I was going, I've had enough of this now. I've had enough of this now. And then when I saw how much you'd have to haul for some of the other big facilities, I just went, nope, can't face that just now. So I'm just putting in a couple of like the tier 1 farm and things like that.
The little ones don't take a long time at all. It's very, very easily doable. And also once you've got that first one in, once you've got that first one in, you don't have any limitations on or any like time limit to build them. They'll just go in eventually. It's great.
So from now, I mean, my objective was to get my primary station in and then just take it the rest at my leisure because I've got to get back to power play. I've got things to do. Other things to do apart from hauling. And finally, any niggles? Have you anything that's just went, this is really good, but because I think I've only got one. But you two first.
Okay. I do have a concerns about like the price doubling or the price changing, increasing when there's more things in the system. I understand potentially why it might be, but it feels really restrictive. That said, I'm gonna say it for a third time. Hey, it's a beta and there's a feedback forum, and if my concern, I'm going to put on the feedback forum because that's where Frontier want us to put the feedback for it, and numbers are likely to change at some point, possibly, and that's kind of, I would kind of expect that numbers might change as far as that's concerned. I think it might end up being a little bit more lenient, or if that's the structure that they've used previously, or they've used a sort of like when they've been proc-genning the systems, or like in inhabited systems before, then you know what? I'll just build another system, you know? I'll just go and do another system. It's not it's no skin off my nose, and it's not like we've used up all of the systems already. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that is true.
Alec?
I suppose mine is my sort of main thing is still the planetary distance. only because, in fact, I was pursuing this today, but somebody was saying that they've placed some planetary settlements where they've managed to put them 100 kilometers apart rather than the 200 I'm seeing. And other people have also reported 300 as a minimum distance. Now, I haven't quite confirmed these. They may just be hearsay or misinterpretations, but I'd still like some clarity on precise, because I want to put things close together and I don't want to waste my planets until that's been locked down and is clear. The only other thing is I would really like a cancel button where you plonk something down, you
Yeah.
get to see what it's actually going to look like, and you go, oh, I don't really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. A cancel button. And the other thing that you were saying about like the system architect, even if everything's delivered, the system architect should be there to be the one to press the button. Because I got to my my satellite I think on Thursday. I got to my satellite and I got there with items to deliver the last bits to get the Brewer Corp screen. And I got there and I couldn't open the colonisation screen. And I know this sounds sort of like, oh, other people did it for me and I'm mad.
No,
and that's not the case at all. I love the fact that other people did it for me, but I'd like to be, I'm a control freak. Not even like I am just generally a control freak, but I think that's a level of control that that I would very much like to have when I am the architect of the system.
Yeah, if you're
Being able
building
to be the
the
one
thing,
that clicks that button.
you want to put the final stone in place, don't you? You want to be the one that completes it. I think that's perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
Right. Well, my niggle is of course the list of needed ingredients, if you like. I mean, I would like it to on the left hand panel when you actually select the construction center or something like that you can actually see what's outstanding for the thing that you're trying to build. I think that would be helpful instead of just constantly going through to the system map and
it's about 4 or 5 clicks, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that needs to be a little bit easier to look up. But apart from that, yes, there's the cancel thing that that Alec mentioned. Apart from that, I'm fine. It's been one of these weird things where I'm really happy now, not with 90% of it, like I am with Power Play and other things. I'm actually sort of, I'd say 95 or even 98% happy with this. So, you know, this has been a very, very well thought out and put together thing. And I think, I know I've seen other people complain that, the hauling is getting too much. For what we're hauling for, I think I know. I'm about to agree with you there. And I think they've got it right. So, you know, not bad for a first attempt.
No, it's like, especially again, like it took me and Cap like 2 hours to build a planetary base, and that's great. And that was so good in sort of like when you're retrospectively you've just made like done a massive amount of hauling to get something, and then it's like, hey, I'm going to plop this down here. Let's see if we can get. And I looked at the amounts, and I was like, I could probably get this done today on my own. You know, in like a what 6.5 hour stream, I could definitely get this done. And then 2 hours later, it was done. And that's super cool.
It does depend on how far away the nearest refinery is, because. If those, I was doing, in order to get my my station up and running. When I was at 50%, I knew I had another 20 runs to do, and each run would take 20 minutes because I had to go to 3 systems away to get the stuff that I needed to come back to the system I was at. So that can be a bit of a drain. If I'm just doing it round and round in a one system hop, or one station to another hop, that would probably be fine. But yeah,
I think the reason I think it's that they've got it about right is for every story like Psychics where it's like, well, we can, you know, a couple of us can build it in a couple of hours, which to the casual listener might sound too easy. there's plenty of stories, or even my own experience, where you look at the numbers and think, "Ooh, I'm going to be doing this for quite a while."
Yeah.
It's neither easy nor too easy nor too difficult. Do you know what I mean? It sort of sits in the middle. And
So it's basically, it sounds like, depends where you are. Basically, you might be lucky and you can do it in a couple of hours. You might be bollocksed and you can do it in a few days.
yeah, and it depends what you're trying to build, and it depends if you've got some friends that are maybe chipping in, and it sort of depends on how enthusiastic you're feeling. If you've got a couple of 2-hour play sessions in front of you and you're psyched about what you're about to build, and you're thinking, yeah, I'm going to do some solid hauling, then it's great. But if you've just built one and what you're really heading for is the next one, because you've just got the tier points and you've already done 3 solid days of hauling, and now you're facing 6 more, it's like, oh. So I think the fact that it's a bit of both.
The day to coin a phrase.
Yeah, I think the fact that it can sometimes feel okay and sometimes feel hard means it's probably about right.
Yeah, depending on what you buy and what you do.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people who are. I've had people in my stream complain that I've gone and chosen the wrong thing. I'm trying to build an Orbis, and it's just me by myself, and I'm only up to 28% help. To which a lot of people just said, get in touch with Operation Ida. So yeah, they'll help you a lot. I know that N. Wiley, I'm going to be helping him because he dropped a few tons of cargo my way, and so did XPain X. So I feel like I owe them some cargo shifting of my time. So they help me. At least I should go and help them. There's nowhere where you can see who's contributed to your station, is there?
Yes, there is. Once it completes.
Oh, there is.
Once it completes, if you go into the station news, it shows you every single commander who has delivered to your station, every single commander who has delivered to your station, and every single commander who has and it also gives you a tier list, but that's back like who's done the top. It's supposed to give you a top 5, but at the moment it's showing the bottom 4. So. Which feels incredibly frontier.
Order by descending instead of order by ascending.
And only 4 of them, but it is they are all in there, and you can see everyone who's done it, and you can get a nice warm fuzzy feeling by seeing it.
Excellent. Right, I think it's time for us to well, that took a little bit longer than I was expecting, but yeah, we will. Ben, do you want to talk about your mostly clueless thing just yet before we talk about the rest?
Yeah, I can do that. So yeah, as I learned, you can redirect an Apex taxi. So when I was trying to get my taxi to go into that spinny station, and it was hilarious watching him, and I was winding up feeling sick. And then Ephesus chimed up saying, "Yeah, you can redirect that." I was like, "You can? How?" So, definitely, if you go into your nav menu on the left-hand side, then you go up into the top left, you see a little Apex icon. That lets you redirect your taxi. Yay! And that also saved my life and stopped me being bugged in the taxi, just trying for eternity to get in.
Oh dear. And he's only just noticed this after 3 years.
No. I remember Frontier adding it. I've never used it, but I do remember Frontier adding it.
I remember Frontier like putting it in the specifications of the Apex, saying, "Oh, you can redirect it as well."
Yeah,
I think it came out of those very early days. When people would end up catching taxis that ended up on their way to Hutton or somewhere stupid, and there was nothing they could do about it. They just had to sit and let it go all the way.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Wasn't actually taking an Apex taxi. No one's managed to beat the Apex before the SCO. The Apex taxi was the fastest way to get down.
Was it really?
I thought someone raced it and they couldn't do it. They couldn't catch it.
Well, I tried to race an Apex and they were pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right. Moving on now. Obviously, one of the things that surprised us. With the 5-point plan that they threw at the last Frontier Unlocked was the mid-year update this year is going to be called Vanguard. Now, from what we are able to understand from the interview that took place, it's kind of like Squadrons on steroids. Now, I'm a little bit. Things were a little bit hazy. They left things a bit vague, but it seemed to me that there were 3 things that they were going to be putting in. There was going to be some kind of bank that that they were going to let. There's going to be some kind of squadron or Vanguard bank, which would mean that these resources could be shared by anybody within the squadron. And they were saying stuff of not only money, but equipment, modules, and ships.
Mm-hmm.
So that was point 1. There's point 2 is greater communication between the people in the Vanguard. So I don't know what that will entail. And then there was this little thing that they put in right at the very end, which confused me. They sort of said a way to help other players get into the game, when new players get into the game, by setting up objectives. And that piqued my interest. Have I missed anything out?
No, those sound about right.
There was also a little bit by the end towards the end where Pierce said something about player-driven squadrons, or it's going to show such a bright light towards shine a bright light towards player-driven squadrons, and everybody went, oh, that means player-made factions are coming back, or player-driven factions, and I don't think those 2 words mean the same. Made and driven don't mean the same, so don't. While it could possibly be a thing, don't hold your hopes out for that.
No, but it may be that the Vanguard can be attached to a faction and it gives that faction bonuses or something. I don't.
Potentially, yeah. That was my thing.
The Vanguard helps drive the faction.
Drive existing factions, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that is it's not much to go on. But Ben, this seemed to pique your interest. What did you feel about this?
The main thing I feel is the naming of calling it Vanguard, because Vanguard to me implies you're on the forefront of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, how the heck can what I'm picturing as essentially Squadrons 2.0 be on the forefront of things? What is on the forefront of? And it's almost making me think, like whenever I've been in a real guild, it's always been doing for things like raids and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that would lend itself to the whole Vanguard naming and stuff, because you're doing some kind of group effort, world boss kind of thing.
Because at present, squadrons can be attached to either player factions. Is it power play factions?
Player factions don't exist in game, so it's just
within
a faction standard. So it doesn't have to be a player inserted faction; it could be any faction that's in the game. But they can tie themselves to a faction and a power play person. They don't have to tie themselves to either. Is my understanding. They can just exist on their own.
It's an optional, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's making me wonder, could we get some kind of essentially raiding content for the Vanguard to do? And if we can, that's potentially bloody exciting.
When you mean raiding content, you mean sort of, okay, we want to raid this...
I mean 10, 20 people all grouping together to do a world boss, essentially. Maybe something 2-3 hours, but then we go and... then we work our way up and kill the Thargoid or something.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, because that's what big guilds do in other MMOs, isn't it?
Yeah.
They dungeon raid.
Essentially, you go and some kind of Elite Dangerous equivalent of a dungeon with an end boss or two en route.
That does sound interesting.
I mean, there's potential there. There's definitely things we could do, especially. Oh my god! Sorry, I'm dreaming now. If we go and you got to fight your way in your spaceships, then you land somewhere, then you got a bit of on-foot combat.
It's a full-on circle of combat assault.
I'd love that kind. Like proper base assaults, maybe, or something. I don't know.
I mean, they do have the missions where you have to take part, do these missions as part of a team. So I would like to see sort of those kind of missions where you could do it as part of a Vanguard.
Yeah, but I'd like required about 5, maybe about 10 people, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more than a wing.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to see it do something with wings,
I'd love
or
something
like
this.
with like I say instancing. I'm gonna say the word instancing and say instancing has gotten infinitely better. Like I can drop into instances with other people without them even being in a wing with me or anything like that. It's pretty standard, especially if you're doing like your port forwarding and all of those things, especially if you're somewhere like Australia or something like that, when you're in a more remote to the UK than say the people who live in the UK are, and that those kind of things. It's always felt until you get to silly numbers like in the 20s and that kind of thing, then it starts to become tricky ? So I'd love to see like a way of being able to like do a Vanguard lock on or something like that, or just like wing Vanguard lock to your other squadron, your Vanguard mates.
Yeah.
Van mates. Are you van mates? Your van mates.
Your van mates, yeah, definitely.
Other than your squad mates, your van mates.
Oh, get in the van.
Get in the van! Oh, no. It writes itself.
Get out of the van.
We got ice cream.
Oh, dear. Sorry, I've gone and ruined it already.
Did you just say we've got ice cream? You've got ice cream. I got a load of puppies in my van.
Oh, dear. Alec, have you got any thoughts? Ignore the puppies.
Have I got any thoughts on Psychic's puppies?
Hey.
Wait.
No.
Don't have had DMs.
Do you know, I haven't got many thoughts on Vanguards at the moment. Let's think. The comms section. I suppose I feel a bit skeptical about it, and that's probably unfair because actually the power play rework has been really good. So I'm hoping I will be pleasantly surprised. But when I think of the in-game comms system, it's terrible. And even if I try and imagine Frontier, doing the best they can on it, it still seems terrible in my mind. Why would I do that when I can use Discord to communicate?
Yeah.
I just can't imagine using whatever they come up with to do in-game comms. So, but I guess the idea of the guild bank stuff, I've never really played an MMO where I've taken advantage of guild banks and seen the benefits, but I can't honestly say that excites me. But I think I'm probably in the minority there. I think it does excite people.
There was an awful lot of emphasis of helping new players enter the game and educate them.
Yeah, there was. That was interesting that was the emphasis, and not like on sort of end game raiding parties for, loose screws, Thargoid bashing groups, or it was very much
the loose screws Lave Radio Rumble.
Yeah, it was much more aimed at beginners.
I think I'd like to see like a couple of comments that I saw coming off the back of it was now I don't play any other MMOs at all. I very rarely describe. I think I'm very much in the same camp as Alec as that. I would be. I know Elite is effectively an MMO, but I wouldn't necessarily personally describe it so much as that. Maybe a little bit more now, but that by the by. In other MMOs, are you able to join multiple guilds?
In modern ones, yes.
Yes, but normally what would happen is you'd have your main guild where you could rank up or you would take a rank like you do in squadrons and work your way up. But if you were in another guild, then normally you'd be down at the very bottom as a a numpty. You wouldn't be allowed to progress up the ranks if you're a higher rank in another guild. Well, that's the ones that I've been in. What about you, Ben?
The things I've been in has been combinations of you can do whatever you want and just you can be an officer in both if you want.
Oh, right.
And others where it's like, we don't really give a monkeys.
Mhm.
And then you've got things where they're a bit stricter, where it's like, yeah, you can be in two guilds, but if you're an officer in one, you can't be an officer in t'other, and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in SOTOR, it was quite funny because I came back to that game after 3 years. And then, lo and behold, I found I was the only person left in the guild. They've left millions of credits.
Oh, dear.
So basically, I'm the only person left in the guild, so I cleared the guild bank out and just put it in and closed the guild down. So
yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks to anybody who's in that guild.
I think I'd like to see. I think I'd like to see something like that for Elite, wherein you can be a member of. Because I've seen ever since Squadrons was there, people going, "Oh, I'd like to be like a member of your squadron, but also a member of another squadron and things along those lines." And I would love to run my squadron, but also be a member of the Buckyball Racers. Do you know what I mean? I would like that. I don't care. I'm quite happy to be a fucking bottom of the barrel in the Buckyball Racers. That's not a problem. But to be able to see both of the chats and both of those kind of things, that's what I would like, and that's why I gravitate towards Discord, because I don't read hardly any Discords, but the Buckyball is higher up on my list than other Discords, and it's my intention at some point to read it. But multi squadrons and being able to see multiple places would be cool. That's what I would like to see. But also, having the communication in one, and then only having my contributions lend to another. That's kind of what I mean. I think squadron leaderboards are shit anyway.
I like them, but yeah.
And at the moment, they've got a limit of 250 members in a squadron. Mm-hmm. It's something quite small. I mean, most guilds in MMOs have thousands.
Can I ask a question? Colin maybe might know the answer to this. How do guild banks work? What's the ownership? Do you borrow stuff from the guild bank, but you can't keep it, or is it just you take out whatever you like and it's yours?
It depends. It depends on your level. In some places, like in a guild, for instance, if you're a bottom level person, what you do is you've got a limit on what you can actually take out, and the higher rank that you are, which you gain rank by just by socializing in the guild. You take responsibility for your guild. So, say for instance, I go guild leader, I'd appoint other people as deputies, and they'd have their own levels of responsibilities and different access levels to the bank.
But this is all arbitrary decisions that you, as the guild leader, make.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a set of permissions. Usually, there's a set of permissions associated with the guild bank, so you can say the guild leader can obviously do anything. Officers can take out up to 1 million credits or something like that, and then then you can maybe let members can take out up to 1,000 credits, but they can deposit as much as they like, or something like that.
Yeah,
but it's all permissions based, basically.
But the other thing that you could have is you could have officers or the guild leader can actually people would. Say, can I borrow? Say, for instance, can I borrow the chieftain because I want to do a run on some Thargoids? And sure enough, the officer will then say, "Yeah, we can lend you the chieftain," and that's yours until you give it back. But it's not yours, if you see what I mean. If you lose it, you still have to pay the rebuy, but you've been lent it. You haven't. You don't own it.
So yeah. So do you have time limits on things? How does that work? Like, what's the difference between borrowing something indefinitely and owning it?
Well, we don't know how that they're going to do that.
No, of course.
But in other systems, to tell you the truth, it's always been about money. It's never been about equipment.
Money. I've been in ones where it's been about, let's say, potions or armor sets as well.
But it's not a case of where they put the armor set and the potion in the bank and anybody can take it out. But it's not as if they hire it, is it?
No, I've never been in a thing where it's been hired. It's just been like, hey, welcome to our guild. Here's our guild armacy. Or we're all going on a dungeon run. We'll give everybody 10 potions to heal up or whatever.
Yeah. Interesting.
I mean, one thing that did occur to me is I wonder where we're going to access that bank. Is it going to be in, say, a guild or a Vanguard fleet like in Powerplay, where there's a fleet carrier with a whole load of ships around it? Because everybody's got fleet carrier. You can have individual fleet carriers.
I really hope it is I hope not, and I hope it is a fleet of flings. But we'll see.
Menu, full menu. That's it.
The one thing.
Can I ask a question about voice chat?
Okay, go on.
Yeah, because obviously we've got in-game voice at the moment,
and
I think most people don't use it unless it's by accident.
Yeah, which is a shame actually, because every time I've used it, it's been really nice.
It is nice and atmospheric, but it's also all those clicks and beeps and hiss get in the way of the actual comms. So we'll just use Discord. And I'm just wondering whether
I quite like the hiss and beeps.
I do, but not for coordinating. And I wouldn't like it for coordinating something. It's just get annoying after a while. And I'm just wondering if people would rather use in-game comms without the hisses. If you could disable it, would you be more inclined to use that rather than on Discord?
So the thing is, on my comment on that, Ben, is so Saturday night racing, for example, last Saturday with the elite races with 10 of us. So the things I really like is when somebody's talking, I can just quickly flick to Discord and I can see their name light up, so I know who's talking. That's really useful. I really like that the Discord sound. So I have a Steel Series headset, and I have a little sort of balance dial, a physical balance dial. My thumb is on it right now, so I can change the balance between the game sound and talking sound.
Okay, so you can auto duck the game or something.
So if we're racing and the sound of the SRV is drowning out the sound of somebody that's trying to talk to me, I can just reach for the dial and change that, and that's really nice. So it's just all those little, I don't know, the fact, the fact that I can reach for my, somebody can in next to the voice channel can send me a message saying, "Oh, let me spell it out for you," and they'll give me the system name, and I can reach for my mouse and I can copy and paste it into UDSM, and God, it's just all that stuff.
Well, there was one final thing that did pique my interest about what was said in that quick thing, and that was they said that you could set tasks. Now, I thought, hang on a second, does this mean that they're going to say that an officer or a Vanguard leader can set a whole load, string together, say, a whole load of missions for other people of a certain rank to do? Which made me really excited, because that's effectively making a mission chain builder.
Yeah, that could be fun.
I thought, oh, hang on a second, we could all end up doing what Elite Dangerous are doing, and
I was just thinking that they're putting that back in game. That would be quite neat.
That would be awesome, yeah.
Yeah. So, obviously, at 2:00, while someone was on their Black Diamond FM radio show,
it wasn't 2:00. It was much later. It was much later. It was much later. What was that? What I don't know. I don't even know what I was doing. Oh my God. I was so late with it. I'm so sorry. It wasn't 2:00. It was like 4. It was ridiculous. I'm so sorry. I was 2 hours late. wild. I was probably just listening to music and totally forgot what the fucking time it was. Anyway, go listen to Black Diamond FM for 2 hours on a Sunday because it's fucking brilliant. So good. Chris is amazing. Anyway, we did a question of the week asking the same question about what your Vanguard thoughts were. And people answered. We put these every week. We put these on Discord. We put them on Twitter. We put them on Blue Sky. I'm not going to put them on anywhere else because that would mean signing into somewhere else, and I'm not going to do that. So firstly, we had a Paphos who said bigger teams, although I'd like that to be also outside of squadrons, vanguards of people I play with aren't all in the same one. A shared bank of engineering materials will help make room for all of those power play care packages. Yes, let me dump it in there. I did like the suggestion of sharing ships within a vanguard. I'd also like to see it outside of a vanguard. I'd love to be able to loan a friend / teammate a ship or have them fly my ship. Could open up some fun gameplay. Maybe I'm trapped in a building under fire and they could run to my ship, fly overhead and take up guards running into the building. Can you not do that anyway? Out of curiosity.
No, I can't fly your ship.
What, even if we're in a wing?
Even if we're in a wing, I can't enter your pilot seat.
Really? I've never done it, so I wouldn't. I just assumed that you could. Wild.
Drive my SRV, but not my ship.
No, only the ship's owner can fly the ship.
Oh, that's
always been the thing about multi.
It's an insurance job.
Yeah. I have Profane Pagan. Piers mentioned a new communication system will be shipped with Vanguards. So in this context, let me tell you my biggest dream. Proximity voice chat. Not only an overhauled voice chat with options to calibrate its sound effects, but normal proximity voice for on foot without helmets on.
It's not going to work on planets.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I don't know if I like it or not. I love it. It's like Colin was saying about the clicks and beeps and how it didn't quite work with Ben. And proximity voice chat, on the one hand, sounds brilliant or cool. But on the other hand, like on the race on Saturday, if somebody gets blown up and sent back to the fleet carrier and has to go and restock their SRV, if we can't hear them because they're 1,000 miles away,
then they change over onto the radio version.
Yeah.
So it's like you're talking away and you can hear them. If they're right next to you, you can hear them right loud in your right ear or something like that.
Yeah.
I'd love you to
radio, then it's radio.
I'd love you to be stood on top of a building and then someone's trying to talk to you, but they just have to keep jumping up. So you get like half of a conversation. What did you say? And
that's like a Jack Russell just jumping high enough above the sill and come back down again.
I love that. I love that idea.
I know for situational awareness, proximity and directional voice chat can be really beneficial. So if you've got what's it called? Those like headphones where it can sort of say I'm coming out from behind you and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If the headphones in the game are all set up with that enabled, and then you can actually hear that somebody behind you is shouting at you, that can really help in like an FPS situation.
I suppose it does mean you could play Marco Polo as well, I suppose.
I love it, Alex. Thank you.
The Viva League comedy show did an exact thing about that, where they had everybody else is using spatially aware headphones. This guy's using speakers that come out of his monitor, and it doesn't understand how everybody can hear something happening over there, which is Ben.
Right, anyway, Fluber is desperately wishing for a better way to join lots of players together in a single instance than Wings. Instancing is the biggest blocker to some of the most fun that I've had in this game, and juggling of wing invites is incredibly frustrating. Also, wings also sometimes just don't work if you're an Aussie.
Right, so I will respond to that by trying to find Commander Simon on Twitter or look up his website because he has got loads and loads of details about how to make that easier for you because I have instanced with him dozens of times with him, me being in Wales, and I think Commander Ricardo would agree with you there. He's very, very good at figuring out all of like the port forwarding and stuff, so you have a better time instancing.
There are tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Right, I've got Mixelblix73, who says this way a true immersive piracy squadron could really come together. A new engineer specializing in these sketchy upgrades, but danger when scanned due to quality stroke elite level versus chance versus times scanned, increasing with actual type/risk plus volume being smuggled harder to hide. Not sure I understood that, but I shall play
I guess if you have, like, I don't know, a small quantity of drugs in your cargo hold, like, hidden away in a sealed container or something, maybe it's harder? Is that what they mean?
Don't know. A true smuggling subclass of ships with shielded cargo racks that fake cargo type and quantity, modules that mislead high-wake trails, upgradable piracy scanners and weapons, engineerable SLFs with super-targeted module weapons, inbuilt basic nav controls instead of modules.
Cool.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I got lost halfway through that one.
I'm guessing this is a list of cool equipment, perks, and things that they're hoping they can get through Vanguards. I don't quite see the connection, but then again, I've never played MMOs for those kind of facilities, so maybe that's the sort of stuff you get.
Yeah, I guess so. Katiana, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. Well. I'm sure we'll get to know each other at some point. Well. I think this sounds awesome. I'm hoping that we can outsource all the things I don't want to do myself, like engineering. Some people like it and they find it enjoyable. Those people can sort me right out because, like I've always said, why have a dog and bark yourself?
Yep.
Also, some of my favorite times in Elite have been when we're playing and working together in our squadron. So I really, really hope we can create more cool experiences. Wholeheartedly agree, Kate. What I don't want them to do is kill squadrons altogether and replace it. I want it to be built upon. And I think when they say spiritual successor, I think when they say that, I think they are fully going to build upon what they already have, because what they already have is bare bones as all fuck. So fingers crossed it will be that plus rather than wiped out and having to restart.
I hope so. I mean, Epsilon Orbital. I think I could be interested to. I could be interesting to allow Vanguards to assign themselves to a system's local faction, similar to how the BGS works, but perhaps with more features that would encourage players to interact with it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I wonder whether they'd actually add a Vanguard to a superpower like the Empire, the Alliance, or the Feds, instead of just a player faction that's connected with them.
Well, it's a squadron that you can connect to a Vanguard. A squadron that you can connect to a power play, not a faction. I think the terminology. I genuinely do believe the terminology needs to all be simplified. So because it's for the layman who doesn't know how squadrons work or like what you can attach squadrons to. I think it is confusing, and I do think. Frontier even allowing people to submit to submit factions to go in the game. If they'd never done it in the first place, I don't think people would be calling for it now on the back of Vanguards. And I think my squadron would have my squadron would have quite happily have adopted another faction. When our squadron went in, our player faction, our faction request went into the game. It was 2 weeks before Salvation first revealed his ugly head. It was like 2 weeks. It was one of the last we were like one of the last groups to go in, and I'm so happy that I am happy that we did, because it's been fun. It's been fun, but when we went in, it was really good. But also, like 2 weeks later, Salvation appeared, and one of our things is Salvation. We're always like showing Salvation or something. It's literally in our blurb, and I do wonder if Frontier went, what have they worked out? What have they said? Have they found something out about? Are there spoilers? Because it was such a coincidence, because it was Salvation and everything. Just made me laugh.
Nicey's asking for third-party access, please. Let us link it to Discord, TeamSpeak, so we can chat when offline too. I agree with that. Chatting offline is just as important as chatting online, yeah. And also they're asking for multiple chat channels, and I'd also say multiple voice channels too. How hard can it possibly be?
How hard can it be indeed?
Just fix it.
Interesting to
do your ones and zeros and fix it.
Yeah. Interesting to provide
What's
API.
your punch card? Do your punch card into and stand in a tube that says "old programmer." I thought,
it's never going to get over that.
No, I'm not. Because I am old and I am a programmer. What's the problem?
You've got your bang to rights, mate. Loki De Pietro says, I've always wanted to be able to have our own mission board, something you write up yourself and post in your Vanguard. You could offer credits for help to build things, or even to do particular things that help your power play or BGS agendas. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, groups are sort of organizing themselves all over Discord and places to do, to ask for help and things, but to be able to do it in game and sort of give some sort of reward for it as well would be cool.
What a cunning idea.
Murderbot says, I'm hoping the bank feature will allow me to grind out ships, modules, and what not to put in the bank. I have a lot of time-poor friends who are interested in Elite, but don't have the time to invest in it. I'm totally willing to put in the effort to give them a head start. I think that's what Frontier are hoping for. Predominantly, that's my... the one thing that I think is going to be the takeaway from this is that a Vanguard will be able to onboard a new player in a similar way to the squadron. Oh gosh, what am I saying? The pre-built ships are concerned.
Well, it's funny you should say that, but I was just thinking Frontier need to be careful they don't put themselves out of a good money earner.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Because if we can create pre-builts and give them to people, then whoops, you've shot yourselves in the foot there.
I think they're making enough money with people renaming stations at the moment.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be this year's cash cow.
I want to see how that's turning out when on the graph after this. Right, I've got Homburger 666. I know. I think we'll get a new on-foot mission type where we'll have to protect someone's proudest antique Ford Transit collection from being stolen by marauding pirates. I'll see myself out.
Very good.
Yeah. I just got a mobile adder.
Actually, I want to rename my station Adams, Adders Crushed Here.
You could probably do that.
Yeah. WeBuyAnyAdder.com.
Oh, add enough. Right. Face Guy is saying, I would like to see the ability for alignment and creation of in-game PMFs, as well as the ability to set non-aggression pacts with other PMFs. Sorry, player minor factions that lock influence, I think they mean by that, within systems. I'd also love to see this unlocking a new class of ship that requires multiple players in a Vanguard to pilot effectively, such as giant cargo hoilers and battle carriers. Well, I like the idea of a battle carrier. I don't know what it is, but I like the idea. We need more game mechanics that give you benefits as playing as a group that cannot just be soloed. I totally agree with them there. More than anything, though, I hope that Vanguard releases with new Guardian story arcs. Also, I like the idea of new Guardian story arcs. Yeah.
Yeah, we've speculated last week or the week before about along with all the new features, what's the new Galnet going to be, if any?
If any.
Yeah.
If any.
I know in Star Citizen from playing even just mining or salvaging, let alone doing combat, where you're actually working 2, 3, 4, 5 of you all in one ship, and you have to do it to get all your mining lasers focused on one beam to get those diamonds out or something like that. It's strangely rewarding.
Interesting.
And you have to be really coordinated to do it as well.
That's cool. So they have like a mining mechanic where one person's mining laser isn't enough, and you have to
You've got to
all aim together.
You've got all aim together, and then you got to get your focuses in, and you got to get the power levels all balanced. And then if you shove in too much power, the rock could just explode in your face.
Right.
So you're bringing it down, and it's really in depth. And that kind of gameplay is great fun.
You could imagine deep core mining in Elite, where you have a very short timer. So basically, you need 4 ships to all get in position and all deploy their depth charges at the same time. And
something along those lines, yeah. I mean, there's so much potential for multiple gameplay that you're all just playing with each other in a coordinated fashion. I love it.
You want to paint your station pink? Yes, we want.
Who doesn't?
Pink stations.
Some people
will go with my pink outfit. I don't want to get too excited about it.
Can we get tartan paint?
Only if you need to get a long wait first. Yay!
Anyway, right. Has anybody got any other business? I guess not. Well, let's see what the shoutouts are. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, it broadcasts on a Thursday from 8:30. You can tune in at twitch.tv, Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. Just a quick word about ECM 2025. It's selling out quite fast. We know that there's only 30 rooms left in the hotel, and Dave is at the moment looking for ways to expand the allocation or maybe get us more tickets. So, yes, if you haven't got your ticket yet, be there or be square. For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. We're also giving shout-outs to the other Elite Dangerous podcasts, so we've got the Guard Frequency, who do other space games as well. Get well soon, Tony, because they had to miss last week because he was sick. We also have the wonderful Loose Screws. They were doing their usual thing over on the other side of the Atlantic. And if you speak French...
I don't mean to brag. I don't know why I did that. That's an old one. I just let the funky music do the talking.
Excellent. Well, that would be the Elite Dangerous podcast. Take that, FNAP. Yes, they do those wonderful missions as well. Following this, we do have the latest Galnet News Digest as provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. And thanks to all the commanders that have chipped in on the Twitch chat. And the in-game commanders that we have had so far has been Ulrich Octavius, Marco S. Ramius, Hubiki, Felix Castria, Siberius, Frozen Sumatra.
Satsuma.
Satsuma, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Satsuma. And see, if I can't say Elite Dangerous right, what chance have I got with Satsuma spelled like that?
True. Imagine.
And of course, Soccer 42 with his boomerang. Anyway, so special thanks, of course, go to Commander Tokoso, who's still hauling steel. Jay Antrax, and Alex Stroud, who have all created music which we use in the show. So that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can find all the contact links in the home/contact us menu of the laveradio.com website. Do let us know if you've got any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So, thanks to Ben.
I'm just letting the blinding lights take me away.
All right.
Stay away from the light. Stay away from the light.
Head towards the light. Head towards the light. Do it. Head towards the light.
Ready.
Do it.
Do it.
Use the tool.
Thanks to Claire.
Use the tool. Absolutely. I don't mean to brag. Respectfully. Hang on. Have I got any more?
Respectfully.
I'm trying to think if I have more. I don't mean to brag. Respectfully. Not talking for everybody but myself. 7 Commanders.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know.
And Alec Turner.
I'm not adding to that. Thanks, Colin. Night all.
Of course, special thanks go to today's tech specialist, the Chris Mark 6. Sorry, Apathis.
You're welcome.
So until next time, Commanders, fly safe, or if you can't do that, build dangerous.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. Need a safe word. Space can be done. I'm gonna see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Update, 11th of March, 3311. With the colonisation of new systems still halted to allow some serious issues to be addressed, system architects who were lucky enough to claim a system have been completing their primary starports and, in some cases, building surface settlements and hubs. Options are unfortunately rather limited for Commander Lave, who decided to colonise the Laland 25224 system. Without any planets, the options were to build a starport around the dependable Class F star that lends its name to the system, but which is nearly 6,000 light seconds from the jump-in point, or to build the starport near the snappily named PSR J2141-3933 neutron star. Just imagine how wonderful it would be to come right out the front door of your newly constructed Ocellus starport and have a neutron boost for your frameshift drive right in front of you. And so Commander Lave built their starport beside the neutron star. Not the closest available location, but the one a little further out. Neutron stars are dangerous forces of nature and need to be treated with respect. And here it is. The rather poetically named Lantern Light Starport. Inside, it's a bustling starport. Outside, ships queue up to enter. But there's a problem. Neutron stars are very small and very dense. The starport, which is very close indeed to the very dense neutron star, is orbiting it roughly once per second, at a speed that makes Meteor Hollow seem quite leisurely. And as it orbits, it spins on a somewhat eccentric axis, making it quite hard to work out where the toast rack is, and utterly impossible to pass through without being atomised. Not even Commander Alec Turner has managed this impossible task. Well, not yet, anyway. Despite this total impossibility, the rescue rangers can use their magic to get you safely inside. There's magic anti-gravity inside, which means that the folk living in Lantern Light don't get instantly crushed to a pulp in this madly spinning centrifuge. The Apex agent is puzzled why so many of his taxi drivers never come back. But once in a while, one of them is lucky enough to make it out alive. It adds a bit of spice to their lives, knowing that they have a roughly 2/3 chance of a violent death every time they undock. Is Lantern Light the most spectacular starport in the entire galaxy? We rather think it is.